Hi guys, how are you doing today? So this video is going to be a little bit different for my channel because I mainly stick to like beauty, makeup, occasionally a clothing video. So I just thought that I would do something a little bit different. I had this idea a while ago and then I watched a video very similar to it today and I was just like got confirmed, like I just gotta do this. So basically, I mean, you guys have already seen the title, but I just wanted to talk about some books that I read recently and kind of give you guys recommendations. And I think this is so fun because I love books, and I went through a really bad time in my life and I like did not read a single book for 2 years just because so much was happening and I was like so like down on myself and like depressed, and I'm like I just wasn't even thinking about reading. Like I just felt like so stuck in life, whereas now I just feel like so free and happy, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna start reading again. So I kind of just started a list of books and I just started reading. You know, I just forgot how much I loved reading, and it just brought a lot of fulfillment back to my life, if that even sounds weird to say, because I mean they're just books, but I feel like books are so amazing. I actually told this to my little brother the other day because I'm trying to convince him to read. He only wants to read comics. I'm like, you can read so much more, you can learn things, and I'm like, books are amazing because you could just be transformed to another world. Like it doesn't matter where you are. Like I'm in my living room, but really like I'm in like the 15th century, like war, like trying to find a man. So most of the books I have to recommend today are kind of like romance novels, which I really enjoy, but I do have one that is more spiritual, and I read like a ton of different type of books, and I'm trying to like just get out of my comfort zone and just read like different things. But I will say the thing that like the books that make me the most happy are like romance in like historic times, like times that we're not in right now is what like I really love. Like just give me like, you know, just any time that's not right now. I actually watched gosh, I can't remember her name, but I'm gonna look her YouTube video up real quick. She gave a list of books and they seemed really good, like books I've never heard of. I was watching earlier today and she described her she liked kind of like raunchy chick flick, but historical fiction added into it. So I was like, yes, I'm so excited about your list. So her name is Jacqueline Levine, and she did my favorite 10 books of 2017. So I will have that link down below in case you guys are interested, because like I said, I had this idea, but she definitely inspired me. So those are kind of the books that I like. So let's just go ahead and jump on in. So I have told you guys before that on YouTube, like when I watch people, I binge watch people and I like fall in love with their style and who they are and their makeup and their videos, and I will just like binge watch one person. And I'm the same way with books. Like I find an author that I like and then I just read like several of their books in a row. So I have a few different books from JoJo Moyes. If you haven't heard of her, you'll probably be familiar with her story, Me Before You. You can see the people from the movie there. And I did watch the movie first, which is disappointing because I love to read the book before I watch the movie, but I didn't even realize it was a book. But when I watched the movie, I fell in love. So basically it's based in the UK and it's about a man, and he is a quadriplegic. He used to live like a super adventurous life and he ends up having a like bad accident, and there is a super quirky girl named Louise, I believe, yes, Louisa Clark, and she basically takes care of him, blah blah blah. They fall in love. You guys already know. I mean, you see the picture. So I'm not giving anything away, but I loved this book so much because I loved how it went into so much more detail than the movie, like every other book ever. But I loved that it was not, how do I describe this? I feel like I'm always going to be a hopeless romantic, but I kind of have like a critical eye to like romance novels now. Like I read some like stupid ones in the beginning when I was trying to find books I liked again, and I was like, that is so stupid. Like she loves him even though he did all this. Like it's just stupid to me. Like when like just certain ways that people write and like the like love story, like I don't think it's a love story at all, but I really felt like this was a love story. I loved it that it just, I can't give it away, but it has a really good ending. People were disappointed in it, but I truly loved it because I felt like it was just so raw. And on that note, I just have to speak my 2 cents. There is a book following that and it's called After You. So it's the sequel to Me Before You, and I just have to say that I was so excited to read this book, like beyond excited, like legit like dying to get my hands on this novel, and I did not like this at all. Like I thought this was just like a poor backup to the love story of Me Before You. Like I just felt like this was unnecessary. Like I just felt like crap the entire time I read it. I mean, you guys can obviously make your own choice, but if you do read Me Before You and you like see that there's a sequel, I did not connect to this book at all. The next book I have to talk about is probably my favorite one that I have to mention, and this is called The Last Letter from Your Lover. Again, JoJo Moyes, and I ordered this. Oh man, I forgot to tell you guys. What am I even thinking? If you notice, my books kind of have like, okay, not this one because I took them off, but they have like library markings on them. That's because I get all my books from abebooks.com. I will link them down below. They are super like inexpensive books, and it's basically like a thrift shop for books online. I normally get my books for like $3 or less and free shipping, so it's awesome. I literally have made like 12 orders this year already on Abe Books because it's always free shipping. You can just order one book and keep going. I have the biggest list of books to read, but that's where I ordered this. Again, like hardcover, really nice book, and it was like $3. So I ordered this one because it is the one that she kind of got her start with. It's the novel that made her famous. So I was just kind of curious about it, and I didn't read anything about it because I don't even like to read what a story is about. I kind of just want to be surprised. Like I kind of just want to be thrown in there. Basically, this book is about two different love stories, and one is set in modern times and the other is like in the 1960s. And basically they're both about people having affairs, and it's just super interesting. The beginning is about this woman. She has an affair. She has the love of her life on the side, and she basically has a loveless marriage, and she loses her memory. She doesn't remember anything. She doesn't remember that she had that lover, but she feels something missing from her life, and blah 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 blah. Basically the modern day person is trying to find out what happened between the two. She's like a journalist, so she finds like the love letters, like it's called The Last Love Letter. So I can't really spill any details or anything, but I will say that this doesn't happen often, but this book actually had me in shock. I was like, wait, what? Like, oh my gosh. Like, you know, like I just love a really good plot twist. Those are hard to come by, and like, so I just really, really enjoyed this book. Honestly, if I had read that this book was about cheating first, I probably would not have picked it up because it's just not something, like, that's just not my cup of tea. But it kind of gave me a different perspective, and it, like, okay, I'm not justifying the person in the modern day, like, I'm not justifying their actions, but in the 1960s relationship, living in a loveless marriage when divorce was really hard to get and you were very, like, ridiculed by society, I could kind of feel where she was coming from. So it kind of gave me a different perspective in some ways. But yeah, I definitely recommend you guys reading this book. So next I want to talk about Nicholas Sparks. And you guys are probably gonna like literally hate me, but Nicholas Sparks used to be my favorite author ever. Like, I've read almost every single book that he's written, and I think he's a brilliant author, and I think he makes really good love stories. But I don't know, it's something about me now, something like a change in my heart, but I just don't have the same connection with his books as I used to. Like, the love stories just aren't deep enough for me, if that makes sense. But I did actually enjoy this one. This is called The Longest Ride. I actually liked the movie better than the book, which is hard to come by. It is again about two love stories. One, I believe, is like 1940s and the other is modern day, but the love story of like the 1940s, like, I thought it was so sweet. I thought it was just a beautiful story, and I loved how everything came together in the end. I thought it was brilliantly told. I just felt like the older couple, you could really feel their love, so I did enjoy that. And then I was going to mention also from Nicholas Sparks, I don't have it on me at the moment, but I read 2 by 2, which was kind of an interesting book for Nicholas Sparks, but it wasn't really as much as a love story as a story about divorce, which I thought was really interesting and kind of like more of like a like somber type of book, not like super like romantic or like hopeful. Okay, you guys, so I have one more book to mention, but I cannot find the author because it is called The Safest Place on Earth, I believe is the title, which apparently a lot of people have written books with that title. So I'm gonna go ahead and like leave a picture of what the book looks like right here. And this was the like more religious book that I was talking about, and this is kind of like an autobiography of this pastor. And it really spoke to me because it said the safest place, and I deal with a lot of anxiety, so I was just like drawn to the title, like the safest place. And as I go more and more in the book, I discover that he actually went and did missions in the like most dangerous city in the entire world, which I thought was interesting, but he felt the safest because of God. And I thought it was just a really interesting autobiography. I thought it was well written, like the way that he described things, and just it really made sense to me, the way that he spoke about his faith. And I thought that his story was really raw and personal. And I mean, maybe this is getting personal for you guys. Like, I mean, I don't really talk about religion super like too much on my YouTube channel because I'm talking about makeup. And if you disagree, I mean, it's fine if you disagree, but just make sure that you're being kind, because, you know, I absolutely respect, you know, whatever your beliefs are, so I expect the same respect. Whenever I was younger, I definitely walked away from my faith for a little bit. I mean, I would never like say I like totally walked away, like I've always believed in God, always believed in Jesus, but I went to a church and I felt like so many people were like pretending to be like this perfect person, like everything was all right, and then I would see them in their actual lives and they were completely different. They were sinners, they were doing this bad thing and that bad thing. And I mean, I was younger then, so I don't think I fully understood it, but it kind of just made me like step back, because I'm like, all these people are so fake. Like, that's the way that I felt. And now as I've grown older, I've learned that, you know, people aren't fake. They're just they're humans. No matter what your religion is, you're still a human. No matter, you know, what morals you want to have and, you know, the life you're trying to live, you're still a human, and humans make mistakes. You know, there's temptation, there's all types of things. So, you know, I kind of realized that growing up, or like growing up in like the last like few years, is that like that's just a part of being human. It's not because they were trying to be fake. It's not because they're trying to live a double life. At least most people aren't. I think I was just holding Christians to such a high standard. And so to read his book and to like hear like, oh, he used to do drugs and acid and all he wanted to do was be a hippie, and how God called him and was like brought into his life, I thought was super, super, you know, it was just raw, it was real. So I just really appreciated everything about the book. And that's like the first like nonfiction book that I read, and I've been reading some others now that I will definitely share with you in my next video. If you guys enjoyed this, if you like this, I would love to know what your favorite books are. Like, please let me know down below like books that you recommend, because I will definitely read them. I'm nervous about posting it because it's something so different for my channel, but that's basically everything. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.